Hey, wheels off. Whew. That right rear one was a pain, guys. But finally, got the stack of cruddy old tires off. The full-size spare is over there somewhere. Had to evict another set of dirt daubers, but whew, it's nifty. I mean, you look at these and you see they're all crusty and nasty. It's just kind of nice to look at the back and see that original off-white. Well, I guess it was a universal beige, I think was the color. Now I have strong feelings about the color beige. I personally think beige is the color of mediocrity. Almost every apartment I lived in was the same shade of mediocre beige, but as nifty as it would be to do the restoration in this color, it's blues on red. It's a nice maroon. It's not a bad color. But the beige wheels that might complement that, that's just not me. So those guys are gonna end up the same green as that trailer, and it'll look awesome. And I'm glad I'm getting a good look at these S lines because they don't look so great. I hate that the ones I needed were just on forever back order. I don't know if I have the skill to bend those myself, but I think they do need to be replaced. Well, guys, I think tomorrow is going to be the day. I'm going to go get myself a, maybe not the cheapest or most expensive puller. See if I can get these brakes, or at least the drums, taken apart. This one doesn't look so bad, I guess, because it had a cover. Well, wait a second. When I look at that one, compared to this one, something doesn't look right. That's supposed to be a castle nut. Bubba has been here, just making stuff sort of work. Well, we'll hose her down either way with the old PB. See if that has any kind of effect, because to be honest, that drum doesn't look like it's been off since before Christ. Just over here looking at the passenger side, obviously we've got a little bit of a patch panel here. That's fine. What is up with all these holes? What was mounted here? These make no sense. It's got more holes in it than a chain link fence. Why? I know it was a hunting Jeep, but why? Well, gang, we're getting to that part of the process where I'm running out of little things to do here and there, and I'm down to a whole lot of big things. Brakes, tires. I actually got the tubes in already. Things like that. Still not looking forward to this, but I'll get there. I think today's quick project, actually one thing I can mention here. That looks a hell of a lot more right. Went ahead and got this little plate for the return spring here, and that just looks right now. But also today, I'm going to look into pulling this hose, leaking coolant, just everywhere, but getting this housing off and swapping out the thermostat. Because what's in there looks like an 180 degree one, based on whenever it looks like it opens, based on when we run it for a while and the gauge says it's one thing. So I'm going to swap it out with a 160 just because of where I live, and hopefully we'll make not too much of a mess with this. Guess we'll file this under "that don't look good." So it's probably just a grade 5. I can probably just replace that with something stainless. Let's go to the other two, see what happens. Well, that isn't going quite exactly how I had intended. Well, that guy is off, a little bit grody, but they all are at this age. That gasket did not want to come off easy. It seems like it's I think there's supposed to be kind of a paper or a cork, and that one feels more like rubber than anything. But as far as this housing goes, well, all that junk coming out isn't a good sign, of course, but what's in here, it's obviously a 180 degree thermostat. It doesn't look bad. I thought it might have been in here a little bit longer than I expected, but that one doesn't look too terrible. And it does actually have this little retaining ring in here. So I have an extra one of those, and I guess an extra 180 degree thermostat now. But this thing is going to get thrown in the ultrasonic cleaner anyways, because I have one, and why not? One more shiny thing to put on this hunk of rust. Still trying to decode this paint. The bell housing is the same bright blue as the air cleaner here, but the head is red. I honestly can't even tell what the block is. I think there's actually some of the same blue on the block. So was this a factory refurb? Did someone repaint the head for preference? I don't know. I'm going to have to consult the manual on this one, because this one here obviously is longer than the other two. And that one came off the passenger side of the block. So I don't know if that one's intentionally longer, or if someone just threw whatever they had in and that works. Ugh. Actually, now that I look at this ring in here, I don't believe this is original. This has a look of scrap metal, twisted and made to work. Meh. I stand corrected. The gaskets are that same neoprene or whatever these are. It feels like the same thing you'd put on a carburetor gasket. It's just that same gray, papery yet not quite material. And here's a replacement, one of these retainers. So I don't know, guys. Is this original or is this a Bubba special? It's about the right size. Looks like it was working mostly fine, but here's a proper replacement. Looks like maybe with a little bending and adjustment it'll fit in there tightly and hold the new thermostat in place. I don't know. Let's get this guy cleaned up though. Kind of interesting though. It got spray painted black, but you can see some more of this blue underneath it. Yet another factory refurb color type of hint on this thing. This is an odd one. Maybe someday someone will see this video and tell me what the answer is on this one, and maybe someone else will be able to find this in the future. But this gasket's got a plastic cover on it. Something tells me that's more of a protection from the factory, but to be removed before installation type of feature, because the new one here doesn't have it. But I don't know. I'm no expert on these. That just doesn't feel right to me. So obviously I won't be putting plastic back on it. Alright guys, just some quick science here. I'm going to try to use this ultrasonic cleaner a little bit more, though I won't torture your ears with the sound. So sorry about that one a couple of videos back. Or was it just last video? Time is weird and relative. I picked up some Simple Green Extreme Aircraft and Precision Cleaner. Don't make the mistake that a lot of people do, because Amazon will sell you this stuff and they won't tell you much about it. And sometimes what they sell you doesn't tell you that you got to dilute the stuff, because if you put this thing in full strength in a cleaner like this, and you put stuff like carburetor parts in it, for instance, it'll eat your carb and destroy it. Always check the dilution. Check with the manufacturer. If the label isn't clear, you should probably assume it needs to be diluted. or at least you need to go check the manufacturer specs. All right, about an hour later, the housing is clean, the new thermostat is in, along with the new retainer. Topped off the fluids. Now all that's really left is to start it up, let it run, and make sure the thermostat opens properly.
A few moments later.
One step forward, 2 or 3 steps back. I don't know what the heck happened, but this bypass hose for the heater that probably doesn't work just disintegrated right in the middle, started pouring coolant everywhere while we were trying to start it. Now it's in several pieces. Actually, this I need to take with me to the store. I'll just throw that in my pocket. So, trying to get it apart, and it just continued to just fall apart. That stopcock there is a piece of junk. It's useless. It does not do the thing, and it's also jammed on there, so it will not come out. Another weird problem was that all of the spark plugs were loose. I tightened them up, and somehow they all came loose, because what we noticed was these guys got filled with coolant again when this thing broke while we were trying to run it, or trying to get it started, and there was air bubbling out of these. And that's no good. So now I might have a bunch of coolant in my cylinders to contend with if we can get the thing started. But that brings us to the other problem, is that this damn thing doesn't want to crank again. It's like it's dead again, which is the other problem that we were trying to face, or trying to track down. Is this alternator good or bad? I didn't know. It seemed good because it was at least charging the battery, but now the battery is dead again. So I'm just at a loss on this one. What is going on with both the electrical system and the coolant system right now? Heck, and the ignition. You fix one thing and 3 things break. So I'm off to the parts store for some heater hose. Maybe I'll get a couple of battery post terminal thingamajigs while I'm there. Maybe some electrical line if it's cheap. One trip to the store later, and here we go. A little bit sorted out, routed that way so it's not right above the exhaust manifold. Of course, the holes for the spark plugs are still full of coolant. I unfortunately don't have any compressed air on tap, but what I got is one of these. Yep, that'll probably do absolutely nothing because it'll just go right back in there, but whatever. Arg. That was unexpected and stressful and frustrating, and I had to top it off with water instead of coolant because I'm out of coolant, and I didn't think to remember to pick up coolant when I was there. But yet, for some reason, I remembered these. Go figure. Well, there's 25% of the job done right. This one's going to take a little bit more work as it's kind of fitted on there, and I don't think I have the slack on this cable to just cut it off. We'll test that real quick. If I run you under the bracket, will you give me enough slack? You sure won't. So I'm going to have to replace that cable. I also, of course, need to get in here and... Wow, is that supposed to be that loose? Probably not. I probably need to clean up that connection. Probably even this one. That's another 50% on those two. Actually, wait. So it's more like 1 out of 5 things done. Okay. Had the mental math there. Man, this day just went downhill fast. Hopefully not that downhill, but... Erg. And now we've come to a no-start situation. And I'm at a loss. I don't know what's up. All that really changed was I swapped out the thermostat. In the process of all that, coolant got everywhere. But I've endeavored to clean it all up, and, well, as best I can, it's everywhere still. System's refilled, needs to be bled, but I can't bleed it until I run the thing. But it won't start. And I'm at a complete loss as to why. I mean, it's even got some fuel left in here. There's fuel. I added some fuel just to be sure. The battery was very low, but it's currently jumped off the Honda. And it's still not starting. Choke's on full, because that's what you gotta do to start this pig. I tried choke, no choke, give it a couple pumps, and it just won't fire. So, I guess I need to make sure I've actually got... Well, it's a two-person job to test spark, I guess. Because I don't have one of the handheld remote starter right here, the Lone Wolf 9000, to start it from right here. If I did that, make things a little bit easier. But it's either no spark or no fuel. And I don't know how it could be no spark, because we have gone through this. It's good now. It's supposed to be good. Boots are a little loose over here, but it's all here. It's all connected. I've pressed down on all of these connectors. They're snapped in like they're supposed to be. Arrgh. All right. Perhaps part of the issue is with the recoil spring we replaced. Perhaps this thing was a little bit more dialed in for that than we thought. Man, I've got steam everywhere. I'm trying to figure out where it's coming from. Ooh, right there, I think. Tighten that bolt right there. And guys, this is tough. Trying to tune these things is a real chore. Oh, yep, leaking again. Well, that's cool to have it just boiling right there. So I've got that bolt. I need to tighten that guy down. Well, I am just about done with this thing for today. It'll run when jumped, but it doesn't stay running for long. It was running for, a good 5 minutes. That should have been long enough, and it should have warmed up enough to allow it to start right up right after that. I disconnected the jumper cables, tried to fire it back up, and almost nothing. Just not enough juice coming to that battery. So I am seriously beginning to think that alternator repair was a fail. But while I'm over here, temperature is 180. What I put in there was a 160 degree thermostat. What is the point of this blender? The buttons, they do nothing. Except for that one with pulses. Anyway, the point of that is, after the day that I've had on that Jeep out there, it's margarita time. Frozen margarita, guys. Hell yeah. Ooh, that's cold. Brain freeze.